Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this Dell XPS 179700. Alright, so first thing we're going to need, I believe, is a T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the T5 bit, and let's go ahead and remove all the screws from the bottom. Alright, sometimes the screws are different size, shape, and length, so it's best to keep them in order. The way I do that is I put them flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern I remove them. So we got 4 here, 2 here, and 2 more here. Alright, normally I don't work on them this way with the hinge facing me. I usually work on it with the hinge facing away, but for some reason they put the XPS logo upside down, so that's how I do it. Okay, so for these Dell ones. Alright, so let's go ahead and get all these screws out. And then we're going to pop it open. If this video helps you out, please make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, you can use plastic pry tools to help get the bottom cover off, but usually I just use my fingernails. Once we get all the screws out, what I like to do is I like to turn it around this way. That's why usually I work on it upside the other way, not the way it was. Alright, and we'll open up the cover. Oh, I guess this thing auto turns itself on, so I'm going to have to shut it down first. I hate the laptops that do that. What's the point of having a power button if it does that? But I guess, to be fair, if the power button breaks, then you have a second way of turning it on. So it has its benefits and negatives, or whatever you want to call it. All right, and this thing is taking a while to turn on, so I don't know. Because I'm pretty sure they said they have a M.2 NVMe. Anyways, while we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and cut open the SSD. Alright, I guess it turned on, but I do need to shut it down. So let me shut it down real quick. And it has update and shut down, but I'm going to just do a normal shutdown. It had the option. Okay, we are going to cut this up. Cut this open. There we go. And we'll pop this guy out. Okay, the laptop just shut itself off. Alright, they're putting a 980 Pro M.2 SSD in here. It's a Samsung SSD, one of their high-end, top-end ones. Alright, anyways, what we're going to do, I get my fingernails in this gap, and then, oops, it's actually upside down. Usually I'll work on it this way. And I'll use my thumbs against the palm rest, not the touchpad. You don't want to push on there. You only want to push on the palm rest. And I'll try and get my fingernails in that little gap between the palm rest and the metal bottom cover. And I'll push there and try and pop this out. Let's see if it'll work on this model, because this one seems to be really tight fit. Okay, my fingernails did kind of go in here, but let's see if we can actually pop it open. Okay. It popped open a tiny bit. I'm gonna have to slide my fingernails over further. But this one, wow, I don't know. It seems, this one, I don't know. It seems very difficult to get it off. I thought it was gonna be not too bad, but I might have to use my metal pry tool to do this. Alright, just because you can't really even get in there the way they formed this. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to this using the metal pry tool. We're going to get in there in the gap between the keyboard and palm rest, and I'm just sliding this over, and it does seem to kind of somewhat pop up relatively easily. Is it popping up, or is it? Nope, it's just sliding in. Okay, so we are going to have to kind of like wiggle this in here, it looks like, because it doesn't want to pop out. Okay, and I don't know, this one, it's not really popping up. So just sliding the tool along there. Okay, and then I guess we find some little stopping points and kind of just wiggle it there, and it, I don't know if you can hear those clicks, but that should be the clips coming apart. Yep, I feel a gap is opening here. Okay, here you can see it is opening up. We're going to work our way up these sides as well. Okay, it looks like the metal pry tool works best, but now that I got a gap, I can actually use my fingernails here, and it's a bit easier because I can pull as I kind of slide across. Okay, we're going to work our way back over to this side. Okay, just like this. Go around the side edge and continue, same thing, you can hear it popping. All right, yeah, this bottom cover is pretty tough to get out. Rotate it back over this way, kind of lift and wiggle, and there we go. We got the bottom cover off. That was quite a bit of a pain to do, but we did get it. All right, there are two M.2 PCIe NVMe slots here. Looks like they used a really tiny M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD there. We're not going to take that out. Are you serious? They put... Do I need to take that out to get to it? Let's see. Hopefully we don't have to. I'm going to switch over to a JIS1 or yeah, JIS1 screwdriver to remove this. So we got one screw here. I'm going to take that out, and one screw here that I'm not sure if we have to take out, but let's see. Hopefully it will slide over sideways. Okay, it looks like it will, kind of, not really. Okay, nope, I guess we have to take the entire thing out. So let's go ahead and remove the battery completely then. So we're going to get all the battery screws out. I probably should have taken a screenshot here. So let me actually put it this way and line it up for a screenshot. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, let me see. Okay, hopefully no other customers are trying to contact me right now. And then we'll get all the screws at the bottom down here. All right, again, hopefully you guys are keeping them all in order. They do label it M2L4, so that means the width is a 2mm and the length of the screws are 4. So yeah, there's that. All right, you can see all the LEDs down here at the bottom here. Okay, and let's get all these screws out. Okay, and the last one here. Okay, so we got all the screws from the battery out. Let's go ahead and lift it up. Is this the battery connector here? Interesting. Okay, this looks like the battery connector. You got this tab. We're gonna pull it straight up. Okay, and there we go. It pops out. Then we should be able to lift the battery out, assuming there's nothing else holding it in place. I'm gonna get underneath the tabs here and pull it up because I don't like pulling it by the connector tab. And that's what the battery connector looks like. All right, we'll set that aside. Oh, the battery, if you're wondering, is right there. XG4K6. All right, XG4K6. So if you need to replace it, you can look for that. All right, so here you can see now they did go completely over there. There is a thermal pad here, but it looks like somebody messed with it before. It's not clean. That's weird. Okay, I don't know. That's strange. Anyways, let's get the SSD in there. Okay, they told me to just put the SSD in. Normally what I would do is I would clone the old SSD, the sucky one, to the new one. But anyways, this goes in at an angle. Push that in. All right, it drops down into place. And then we can get this back on top. I'll let the customer know that I recommend they clone it to the other one. But it's really up to them what they want to do with it. Okay, so we got all of that, and then this one screw is the only one I guess that was holding here, so we'll get that screw in. Okay, might as well go over some basic components that I see in here. We have this one cable here. Oh, I don't know if you saw, I put the one screw over here for that. Sorry, it zoomed in a lot and I didn't realize. Right, you got this one cable here, which has the touchpad going to this board, and then you got this LED. Oh, I need to zoom out. I can't. I don't have room to move this around. You got this cable going to the LED board here, and it looks like the keyboard and the keyboard backlight also connect to this board underneath. All right, so keyboard, trackpad, and trackpad, touchpad, whatever you want to call it, and this LED indicator light on the front all connect to the motherboard with this one cable. Okay, you have the speaker cable connector here. This kind, you grab the wings and you kind of wiggle it to pull it out. It connects, and then it looks like there should be a wire going across. Oh, this one has, I guess it has 4 speakers, because it goes to this speaker, then a blue and white wire goes up there. All right, and then this side also same thing, another speaker connector, and then a wire goes up there. Wireless card is soldered to the motherboard, but you can disconnect the antennas. Underneath this screw, there's 2 antennas, and then you go at the tails of the connectors and pull them up. All right, I'm not going to take it out because the only thing they wanted was to install the SSD. You got a fan connector here, and then you got another fan connector, where'd it go? Here. Okay, and then you got this little cable which runs along somewhere. I'm not too sure where, but they got all these little boards here. Interesting. I'm assuming that's for the power button or something. The LCD LVDS cable connection also looks kind of strange there. So yeah, they're changing up the design on all of these. I've worked on some of the newer, I think, Dells and Lenovos that were kind of weird like this. But yeah, I'm not going to mess around with too much. Again, they only needed the SSD upgraded. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at the RAM that's underneath these flaps. Pull the two tabs to the side, and it will pop out like that. And then you can go ahead and get this out. And this is an 8 gig PC4 3200 AA stick of RAM. So yeah, keep that in mind, PC4 3200 AA. All right, we'll get this back in at an angle. And then we'll click that down and get that back in. If for some reason your computer doesn't start up or like stays on a black screen, keep in mind that a lot of the times it could be bad RAM, or the RAM might just be loose or not inserted properly. So you might want to check that first. Since the computer has 2 sticks of RAM, you could always just put 1 stick of RAM and see if it will start up that way. All right. And then the other thing, if you replace the battery, I believe the CMOS BIOS RTC real-time clock battery is now built into like the main battery on most laptops. So they stopped using like a separate battery for those on a lot of them. All right, but anyways, we got the main battery here. We're gonna drop this into place. Okay, and then we just line this back up, get underneath that, and push that down. Okay. It has to go in evenly, so make sure that it goes in all the way on both sides, or top and bottom. All right, let's go ahead and get these screws back in for the battery, power it up, and see what we got. So we'll get these guys back in. If anything, you can even power it up right now with just that one. That way, if anything is wrong, you won't have to take it all back out again. So let's actually go ahead and see if it powers up real quick. Okay, I'm gonna push the power button. Which is also the fingerprint reader, which might be actually what that little purple cable is for. Oh, okay, and it's turning on, so we should be good to go. Since we put a new SSD, we will have to go to the disk manager. By doing that, you can go to the start menu and just type disk mgmt, and then you can go in there and you can initialize the drive and format it. It is taking a while to start up, so it's kind of weird. Oh, okay, there you go. Time of day not set. So like I said, removing the main battery also resets the BIOS. So basically you'll just continue and then you have to reset the date and time. And that's why it was taking a while to start up. So it should be starting up quickly now, I hope. Yep, there you go. All right, and that's pretty much it. We just got to get the rest of the battery screws on and the bottom cover. So I'll wait till this starts up so I can shut it down properly before I do that. But yeah, other than that, hopefully this video helped you out. Again, if it did, please make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps, again, and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much all there is to it. Again, if you can't contribute to the channel, you can actually, like monetary wise, if you can't, you could always contribute by watching a few of my other videos. That helps out a lot, and it helps YouTube like share my channel and videos in the long run. Okay, so anyways, come on, I'm waiting for this thing to shut down. I'm filling the empty space with just talking. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I highly recommend, if you are putting a new, better SSD, to clone the main drive to the other one, because yeah, the old drive isn't too great. All right, we'll flip this back over, get the battery screws back in, put the bottom cover on, and we're good to go. All right. Okay. Get all this in. Got a few more. Alright, and let's get the bottom cover on. The bottom cover actually also had a little dust on it, so let me clean that off real quick as well. It's a pretty interesting design. I don't know what this little plunger thingy that goes in this hole is for, but alright. I think it's there, so if you put the cover on wrong, you're going to end up breaking something. But, okay, the back needs to go in first. Let me zoom out here. It's too much. So the back cover, you do need to kind of lift it up like this, get that in first, and then lower it down, okay? Make sure this is all clicked into place, then work your way down the sides and edges, and then go ahead and take a look. Make sure the gap is all sealed up. All right. There we go. Make sure it's all clicked in. Make sure everything looks good. And then we'll get this all back together. And that's pretty much it. All right. Oh, this is upside down, so I'll flip this over. Yeah, not too difficult for adding an SSD or RAM or changing the battery. Fairly decent design for those. I didn't really pay too much attention on if I had to replace the fan or something. But, yeah, the screen might be a little bit tricky. The charge ports, USB-C, are built into the motherboard, I think, so those tend to be kind of a pain. If anything goes wrong, then you're in trouble. But yeah, and then also the keyboard and trackpad, everything is all connected to that little board on the bottom. So this one, I think, replacing the keyboard itself, I didn't really see if it had melted plastic, but with all this metal, I would hope that you can replace it with screws. Okay, but yeah, that's pretty much it. We're just getting these last few screws. Again, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share my channel, watch a few of my other videos, donate if you can, and that's pretty much it. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right, let's get this last one in, and let's drop this spike.